Buenos dias. Good morning, little tree huggers. The story for today will be The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. This is one of my favorite stories because it talks about how we should take care of our earth and our trees, especially the trees. At the far end of town, where the crickle grass grows and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing expecting old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the crickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood, just as long as it could, before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax, and why was he there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere? From the far end of town, where the crickle grass grows, the old one's lair still lives here. Ask him, he knows. Einstein, you like the story? You won't see the one's lair. Don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurking on top of his door. He lurks in his lurking, cold under the roof, where he makes his own cloth out of muffer muff. And on special dank midnights in August, he peeks out of the shutters, and sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you perhaps if you're willing to pay. On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 15 cents and a nail, and the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather snail. Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count to see if you have paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you paid him away in his navy. He secrets a strange hole in his ground hole glove. Then he grunts, I will call you by whisper my phone, for the secrets I tell are for your ears alone. Slop. Down slops the whisper my phone to your ear, and the old one's lair's whisper are not very clear, since they have to come down through a sniggly hose, and he sounds as if he had smallish bees up his nose. Now I tell you, he says, with his teeth sounding gray, how the Lorax got left there and taken away. I'll started back way, such a long, long time back. Way back in the days when the grass was still green and the pond was still wet and the clouds were still clean. And the song of the swanny swans rang out in space of and morning, I came to this glorious place, and I first saw the trees, the truffula trees, the bright-colored tuft of the truffula trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. And under the trees I saw the brown babaloots frisking about in their barbarloot suits as they play in the shade and ate truffula fruits. From the rippless pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming was splashing around. those trees, those traveler trees. All my life I have been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tuft was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I'll do. I unloaded my cart. The instant I finished, I heard a gazump. I saw something pop out of a stump of the tree I had chopped down. It was sort of a man. Describe him, that's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mousy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. Mister, he said with the softest sneeze, I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues. And I'm asking you, sir, as that are at the top of my lungs. He was very upset as he shouted and puffed. What's that thing you have made out of my truffle tuft? Lorax, I said. There is no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree. I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a need. It finds something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat. But it has other uses. Yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpet, for pillow, for sheets, or curtains, or covers, or bicycle seats. And the Lorax said, Sir, you are crazy with greed. There is no one on earth who will buy that full need. But the very next morning, I proved he was wrong. For just at that minute, a chap came along, and he thought that the need I had needed was great. He happily bought it for 30.90 cents. 90.88. I laugh at the Lorax. You poor stupid guy. You never can tell what some people will buy. I repeat, cried the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I am busy, I told him. Shut up, if you please. I rushed across the room and in no time at all built a radio. I put in a quick call. I called on my brothers and uncles and aunts and I said, listen here, here's a wonderful chance for the whole Once-Layer family to get mighty rich. Go, get over here fast. Take the road to North Niche. Turn left at the Wickawicken. Sharp right on South Stitch. And in no time at all, in the factory I built, the whole Once-Layer family was working full tilt. We were all needs, just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of truffle trees. Then, oh baby, oh, how my business did grow. Now chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 truffle trees at one smucker. Oh, we were making needs 4 times as fast as before, and that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. Really? The next week, he knocked on my new office door. He snapped, "I am the Lorax who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I am also in charge of the brown babaloots, who play in the shade in their babaloo suits and happily live eating truffle fruits. Now, thanks for your hacking my trees to the ground. There is no enough truffle fruits to go around, and my poor babaloots are all getting the cummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies." They love living here, but I can't let them stay. They all have to find food, and I hope that they may. "Good luck, boys," he cried, and he sent them away. I, the once lair, felt sad as I watched them all go, but business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies in tummies, you know. I meant no harm. I most truly did not. But I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I bigger in my factory, I bigger in my roads, I bigger in my wagons, I bigger in the loads of their needs. I shipped out. I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went tight on biggering, selling more needs, and I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Then again he came back. I was fixing some pipes when the old nonsense Lorax came back with more gripes. "I am the Lorax." He sneezed and he coughed. He snargled, he sniffed. "Ch, ach." "Once lair," he cried with the cruffalo croak. "Once lair, you're making such a smuggle smoke. My poor swummy swans, why, they can't sing no more. No one can sing who has a smoke in his throat." Oh, poor babies. "And so," said the Lorax, "please pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. When they will go, I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape from the smog you have smug up around here. What's more," snapped the Lorax, "let me say a few words about Glubbity Glub. Your machinery chugs on day and night without stop, making Glubbity Glub, also Schlubbity Schlop. And what do you do with the leftover goo? I'll show you. You dirty old once lair man, you." "You're glumping the pond where the humming fish hum. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gone. So I'm sending men off. Oh, their future is dreary. They all walk on their fins and get woefully weary in search of some water that isn't so smeary." And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax. "Now listen here, Dad. All you do is yup, yup, yup and say bat, 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 bat. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I am telling you I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, you, Lorax, I'm figuring and vigoring and vigoring and vigoring and vigoring, turning more truffle trees into needs, which everyone needs." And at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From outside in the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall, the very last traveler tree of them all. No more trees, no more needs, no more work to be done. So in no time, my uncles and aunts, everyone, all waved me goodbye. They jumped into my cars and drove away under the smoke-smugger stars. Now all that was left 'neath the bad-smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax and I. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance, just gave me a very sad backward glance as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants, and I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hasted himself and took leave of his place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. And all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with one word: unless. Whatever that means, well, I just couldn't guess. That was long, long ago, but each day since that day, I have sat here and worry away. Through the years, while my buildings have fallen apart, I have worried about it with all of my heart. But now, said the one slayer, now that you are here, the word of the Lord seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. So, catch, calls the one slayer. He lets something fall. It's a truffle seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last of the truffle seeds, and truffle trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffle. Treat it with care. Give it clean water and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest. Protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all his friends may come back. And that's the end. I hope you enjoyed the story. I know it was a very long, long one, and I thank you for being so patient. So you know, the spring is here. So if you want to plant some flowers or trees outside, this is the time. Ciao, ciao.